Hey everybody, it's Frankie-Lou. I'm coming to you from the greenhouse in the sky where I'm getting ready to plant some carrots and leeks and onions in some snugs here in the greenhouse. Now that might seem a little bit strange. Why wouldn't I just be putting it into the soil, you may ask? Couple of reasons for that. I'm finding that I do enjoy the humidity chamber. I get much better germination with my crops, particularly stuff like carrots. It has to stay completely moist during the germination process, and that's why I'm going to be doing it inside of here. The other reason is I love this greenhouse, but we do tend to have an issue with slugs in here sometimes, and I don't have any rhubarb to put down to help keep them away from my crops right now. So I've got a little trick that I use to keep slugs out of my snugs. I use Snugs to combat the slugs here in the greenhouse, and it's very helpful, and I've had lost less of my young seedlings with this little trick. Okay, so first off, if you haven't heard of a snug before, basically it's a milk jug with a seed snail inside of it. First off, we're going to prepare our milk jug the good old-fashioned way. All right, I got my favorite tool. Oops, I like to leave the lid on for this part because I find that it just keeps its shape a little better. And I'm going to quickly pop a bunch of holes in the bottom of my milk jug here. I like to put 3 holes in each quadrant. So that's 12 in the bottom. And then I'm always concerned about drainage. That seems to be, if I have a milk jug fail, it's usually because it becomes waterlogged because I haven't punched enough holes in it. So I usually put 3 right at the corner too. I really don't believe there's any such thing as too many drainage holes in these milk jugs. Okay, that wasn't hard, was it? If you do find this difficult though, like let's say you have an issue with arthritis, I know a lot of my followers are using things like heat knives, and that makes it a little bit easier for them. Then I'm going to cut my jug so that almost in half. I cut right underneath the handle here and bring it around. And there we go. Milk jug. Okay, ready for planting. Take the lid off. You don't want the lids on the jugs while they are germinating and growing your little seedlings along. So I've got a perfectly prepared milk jug. Now, normally under regular winter sowing, I would just fill this up with some lovely moist. It's extremely important that your potting mix is both quite moist, like see how it's forming a nice ball? That's how moist you want it to be. You don't want it like running through with water, but you also don't want it to be dry, okay? Because one of the main things we're doing here is we're trapping the condensation in this so that that added humidity is going to help your seeds to germinate. So it doesn't make any sense to start with dry soil. And the other thing is we're going to be packing this onto a seed snail strip, and if you try to do that when it's dry, that's not going to work very well either. So we're looking for something that's going to hold its shape a little bit, okay? And I also like to use a very light mix. The one that I tend to use is Pro Mix Organic Herb and Veggie, because it's nice and light, but it also has a light fertilizer in there, and there's also mycorrhiza in there, and both the fertilizer is going to help your seedlings sustain until they're ready for transplant, but it's not so much that's going to burn them. And the mycorrhiza is really good at helping those seedlings to get the nutrition out of the soil so that the fungi basically bonds with the roots, and it does make a huge difference. I've done some experiments in the past, but maybe it's time to do it again. You know me, I like to replicate my experiments. Now, next step, because we're not making a traditional milk jug, we are making a snug today. We're gonna get some seed strips going. I get asked a lot what type of materials work best for this. I'm very fortunate in that I have chickens and ducks, and so I get a ton of feed bags, and even my dog Luna here, her feed bags work well. What I want is something that's got some, I don't like using just a plastic bag because I want something with a little bit of body to it, something with a little bit of firmness and body, but I want it to be slick, okay? I do not want my roots to grow into this strip. That sort of defeats the whole purpose of the whole seed snail idea, where we want the roots to grow long and strong and are easy to remove later. If you have a porous material, like a lot of people want to use something like paper towel or cardboard or burlap, that's not going to work as well for the whole intention, which is to have these seedlings be easy to remove and the roots removable. So I like a nice slick material like these feet out. So let me show you the little hack for making this a little bit easier. I know a lot of you really, I actually, look at this, for those of you who follow me, I brought a tape measure today because I know it drives a lot of you crazy that I just wing it all the time and you want measurements. So I'm going to measure for you today. What I'm looking for is strips that are going to fit nicely into the bottom of my Wintersowing jug here. So usually it's between 3.5 to 4 inches. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure that onto here. I'm still eyeballing it, but as you can see, I am kind of measuring. And I'm going to cut this. I'm even going to tell you the length, guys. Those of you who have been following me for a long time know that's miraculous, because I'm not really very, I'm a real wing it kind of gal. So I used to cut these individually, but I find it easier to cut the strip and then cut it in half. And this is the perfect size for making a seed snail that's going to fit into a standard milk jug. Now, if you are doing traditional seed snails, I know that they tend to be longer because you're trying to grow those seedlings on quite a distance. And I know that for Rita, she does wonderful seed snails that are like really long and they're beautiful, and she can keep those seedlings in there quite a bit longer than I tend to do. But for the winter sowing process, I prefer to use the milk jug because I'm super clumsy and I like having a handle to carry things around. So, and I did find I got excellent root growth with this size of a seed snail, and so that's what I'm going to use. All right, so we have our strip. We know it's 3.5 inches wide. Let's see how long it is for those of you who need to know. See, I do listen to you guys. All right, this looks like it is 42 inches, okay? And I have found that these feed bags are perfect. Depending on how much soil you pack on, you could go probably anywhere from like 35 to 40 centimeters or inches long. Okay, now comes time for preparing the seed snail. I know a lot of people use a table and they lay it out and then they pack the soil on and then they roll it all up at once. That is really unwieldy for me, because here I am I'm doing this out in my greenhouse, and honestly I never saw that way to start, so I just started doing it this way, where I lay it onto my moist soil and I roll as I go. This is what works best for me. I'm not just in case you didn't notice, I'm not a super fussy precise kind of gal, and this works and it's easy. It only takes a couple seconds. It would be very time consuming to be laying all these seed strips out. This is how I like to do it. Okay, almost there. You see how using that nice moist soil is important because it's packing on there nicely? You guys can see that? Okay. Sometimes I get talking, I forget I'm supposed to be demonstrating. All right, we have a lovely seed snail there. See? And, okay, here's another step that I don't usually bother with because I do find it easy to just take these out. I did not have a problem removing them last year. Some folks like to put a little piece of tape here so that their seed snails stay together as they're pulling it out of the jug. Yep, that could work. It wasn't a problem for me, so I'm not going to bother myself with extra little fussy things. Another thing you might want to do is, some people have difficulty pulling these out of the jugs. That also has not been a problem for me. But if you are going to use something sort of as a little loop underneath here to pull it out, make sure it's not too big, okay? I know some people just use the same material that they use the strips for, but make it quite narrow. Because if you don't, you're actually going to block all those drainage holes we just spent so much time punching in, right? So if I were to do that, I would use screen. Another thing you can probably upcycle is some old screen. I'm going to use some of this later on and I'll show you how, but screen would work for that as well. Okay, like if you had a nice little strip of screen that you pulled it out. So all those old doors with all those old screen doors that you're throwing away, or whenever you've replaced screen in a window, don't throw that out. It's really valuable for your winter sewing. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in. I'm going to put a little bit more around the edges here because it's not quite as tight as, see, I could unroll it and put more in the middle again, but that's not the way I do things. I just sort of, I'm going to pop a little around there. I've got a nice snug. It's the seed snail is really nice and snug in there. So now I am going to plant. I said I'm going to be planting some of my carrots in here. Now a lot of people are like, what? You're going to do root crops? And it was actually root crops when I first started experimenting with this last year. It was root crops that sold me on it because they worked so well. I had such lovely, lovely carrots in there. Whereas my other winter sowing projects, I often ended up with pretty gnarly carrots. Still delicious, still good germination, but they were all misshapen. With this, I did not find that. A lot of people very carefully spread their carrots or their seeds so that they're nicely in the spiral, and it looks really pretty, but honestly I don't bother with that. No matter how haphazardly you sprinkle those seeds, they're gonna fit within the spiral. I guess I also find I can put more than I normally would in a standard milk jug because they do stay more separate, so I'm not going to be as fussy about not over sewing. So while it might seem more fussy to create a snail, it removes so much of the fuss when it comes to transplanting that I just love it. I'm going to be doing basically almost all of my winter sowing and my propagation here in the greenhouse with Snugs this year. All right, so I got my carrot seeds on there. I'm just going to put a light sprinkling because carrots don't need a lot of coverage. If you were super concerned, okay, you could also spray a little water just to make sure that they've got that good moisture to start the condensation process. I know that I've got nice moist soil here, so I'll be okay. But you know, at this point, there's no such thing as overdoing it, unless of course you're pouring water directly on there. Another little trick I have, these are Nantes plants, right? Yes. Is I upcycle yogurt containers, cut them into these tags. I am going to put that into the handle. Okay, and that's going to do two things: have a tag ready to go when it's time to transplant these, and it also means I won't have seedlings growing into here, and I have to worry less about labeling on the outside because there is a nice label prepared already on the inside. And I've been making videos about winter sowing for almost 6 years now, so I've played with a lot of things and I've learned a lot of things, and that's why I do this, because the way I was winter sowing at the start, the way I was winter sowing at the start is a little bit different because I've learned some things from my mistakes and some things from my successes as well. I used to use duct tape because it was really great for holding it on there even when it was outside in the snow for months and months on it. But it is difficult to remove when it comes time to transplant, and I'd sometimes actually lose seedlings because it would rip off and stuff, or I'd have to cut and I'd accidentally cut a seedling. So for the last couple of seasons now, I'm using tuck tape, which is an outdoor sheathing tape. So it holds in place, but it's also super easy to remove when it comes to time. So I'm going to cut a little bit here. And I usually tuck tape from both sides. You don't have to use a ton. I don't like to overlap too much because tape is the most expensive part of what I'm doing here practically. Tape and soil. Okay. There we go. I got that in place. I will label the outside just so I don't have to. And I do like using ear tags for that. So I'm going to put Knox and the date. Today is February 7th. I'm not putting these outside yet because I am in zone 3. I generally don't start my winter sowing outside until at least mid-February, and I go well into March and April with that, but there's more videos about that. But these will be set up now in the greenhouse. Now here's for my last little bit here, my last little secret. Slugs are an issue here in the greenhouse, and in the spring they'll also be an issue outside. And so this came as a tip from one of my followers, because people are like, well, shouldn't you leave the lids on to stop mice and slugs from getting in there? And then someone said, well, just put screen on it. Thank you. So I love it when you guys comment, because I do learn a lot from you guys as well. I love sharing so we can all learn together. I've got an upcycled elastic band here. I'm gonna put that on, and now that is gonna protect my snug from slugs. I thought that was pretty cool. So there we go. I'm going to set up a whole bunch more of these here today. I'm also going to be doing some more gardening tasks later this week, so keep an eye out for videos. And please continue to send me those questions, because that's where so much of this content comes from. Looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. And as always, I hope you'll take this chance to grow together today. Have a good one.